Okay, so we're gonna start a little bit with the balls. Let's use this green ball. And we're gonna just use it on the calves. So if you've got your block, I'm gonna actually use this block. I'm gonna have the block on its low height. And then we're gonna take it to about the middle of the calf, or maybe just like a hand's distance below the knee pit. And then from here, we're just gonna roll it right up and down the center line. So I'm right in the center of the calf from left to right. You can place that left foot on the floor and just roll that ball up and down. And if you find a spot in there that talks to you a little bit, you can just sit and point and flex the foot. And then we're gonna just turn the toes slightly in and do that same thing on the more medial portion of the calf, which is gonna be the more inner portion, closer to the center line. And same here, if you find a spot somewhere that you're like, ooh, there's some tenderness there, then you can just stay with it. You can try flexing and pointing the foot, or you just rest the leg on the ball. And then finally, we're gonna turn to the outer edge of the calf. So we're turning the toes all the way out. And we'll do that same thing, just rolling that ball up and down. Find yourself somewhere in that line that you can just pause. Maybe you move the foot, or maybe you just let it relax. And then lastly, we're just gonna have the ball again, kind of somewhere around the center, like the medius portion of the calf. And I want you just to turn your toes from side to side, using the whole leg bone. So the whole leg bone is gonna just rotate in and out. In and out. Okay, so now we're gonna take that and we're just gonna put it on our hamstring. So you can find your sit bone and maybe just walk your ball down a few fingers distance from the sit bone here. And we're gonna stay on that same leg, right leg. And then you're just gonna bend the opposite knee, straighten the leg that has the ball. And if it feels like nothing, you might have just slid between the muscles. So if you need to adjust where the ball is from left to right, until you find that you get some resistance from that strappy muscle group of the hamstrings. We'll just take maybe 2 breaths here. So you're just leaning a little bit of your body weight into the ball. What's like 60 to 70% of what you can handle there. And then we're just gonna roll the ball maybe just 1 or 2 inches down. So now I'm not quite in the center from knee to hip, but maybe in that upper third. And just take a breath or 2 here. Okay, let's go ahead and switch it to the other side. Now, I just like to take a moment and just even have my legs go straight and just touch your toes. And just notice if there's a difference from right to left here. Bring it back in, and we'll go on to that left leg. So center of the calf, we're gonna go right up and down, rolling here, and taking it down that center line. And then if you find somewhere along the way that you want to maybe pause, try to breathe into that spot, just relax. Maybe you move the foot back and forth. Then we're going to turn the toes in. So now I'm on that medial portion of the calf again, so that inner portion, rotating the leg bone in, rolling up and down. Find somewhere maybe along that line that you can just sit with. Breathe. Good, and then turning the toes all the way out, taking the ball up and down on the outer portion of that calf. So I'm sitting a little bit behind the shin bone here on this. Again, finding somewhere to pause. Maybe moving the foot. Okay, now we're gonna have that center feeling in the medius portion of the calf, and we're just gonna go from side to side. So we're turning the leg bone in and out. And it should kind of feel like it's clunking over those muscles. We'd like it to get smoother the more we do this, but they are going the opposite direction of the ball rolling. So they're gonna feel like there's clunking and rolling over strappy muscles. Good. All right, let's go ahead and take that. I could do that all day. We'll take that one down under the hamstring. Okay, so find your sit bone on that left side. Maybe just move up an inch or two with the ball and place your leg down. Now again, if you don't feel anything, you might just slide the ball from left to right till you feel like you land on one of the muscles in the back of the leg. Looking at the hamstrings. We're pretty high up here where the tendons are. So again, they're kind of tubular. They're hard to pinpoint. So they might just slip off the side. Okay, roll it down, maybe just one turn of the ball. So now I'm just a little bit closer towards the knee, but still pretty high up in the leg. And again, I'm just gonna take one big breath in. And out. All right, take that ball out, legs straighten. Go ahead and reach for those toes. Now it should feel like there's a little bit more balance between the legs. We're gonna roll all the way down. Have your hand weights close by. Roll yourself onto your back. Bring your knees into your chest. And we're just gonna take the knees over to the right. So you can move your hips a little to the left. And drop your knees over to the right. Take a big breath into the left ribs. One more. Other side. Take the knees over to the left. Move your hips just slightly over to the right. Take a big inhale into these right ribs here. One more breath. Good. Bring those legs back up to center. Grab for your hand weights. And from here, we're just going to take the arms up to the ceiling. Get your feet about hip-width distance apart. And we're going to slowly start to open the arms as you lift the hips up to the ceiling. And then we're going to close the arms as the hips come down. Okay. First round, you can just kind of take your time here. Now, we're lifting the hips, and I'm not really using too much of this rounding articulation of the spine. I'm going to have you just lift your hips and your spine off the ground in kind of just more of a plank position. So it feels like the whole thing lifts up together as one unit and rests back down as a unit. Good. We're just going to start to pick up the pace a little bit here. Opening and closing those arms. Let's go for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your hands to your hips, and you're just going to do these little lift and lower. So you should just feel like the weight just is a little bit of pressure to the hip to add a little more to the backside of the body. Let's go for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it out. Take those arms back out wide to a T and just do little pulses of the arms and the hips. There's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you hover those arms? Keep the hips up. You're just going to take those thumbs together overhead, and then we're going to bring them all the way back down towards your hips. Hips are going to stay up. Okay, so I'm just barely hovering the arms above the floor as we make these big angel wings here. Palms are facing up. And I'm just doing this isometric hold for the legs and the glutes. Push into your feet so that you lift those hips. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to hold those arms back. They're going to come up to the ceiling and back behind you. Don't let them rest. Bring them up and back. So now I'm going to alternate a leg lift. You're going to bring your left leg up as the hands come up. Press it down. Then we'll take the right leg up as the hands come up. So try not to move your hips here. See if you can keep them nice and still as you just move the arms and one leg. Just alternating side to side. Okay, here we go for 5. There's 4. 3. 2. Last round. 1 and 1. Hold that right leg up. Now you're going to turn your palms to face each other, and as you send the right leg out across the room, arms go back behind you, and then bring it in and reach for the knee. So now my pinkies are up towards the ceiling when my hands go back. Here's 8, 7, 6. Try to zip those ribs in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring those arms back up to the ceiling. Take the right leg up to the ceiling. Bend your elbows, lower your hips, and then punch everything back up to the ceiling. So you're going to drop the hips, lift the hips. Bend the elbow, straighten the elbow. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep it up. Put the right foot down. Bring the left leg up. Now take those arms and legs away from each other as the leg goes out across the room and back in. Left leg extends and bends. Arms reach away and up. Here's 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it all in. Straighten that left leg up to the ceiling. Bend and drop the hips. Punch and lift the hips. Bend the elbows. Straighten the elbows. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Squeeze that right cheek. 3, 2, 1. Put that left foot down, lower those elbows, slowly roll the hips all the way down. Good job. All right, so from here we're going to take the legs up into tabletop. And I'm going to take both my weights into my left hand, but you always have the option to just set one down. Okay, so if you want to have both hand weights, you can. And now all I'm going to do is just take my right knee and drop it out to the right as I open that left arm out to the side. And then I'm going to pull it all back into the middle. So I'm keeping the right knee bent, but I'm just challenging my core here as I move the knee and the arm away from each other, going out to the sides of the room. Now again, if this weight's too heavy, just drop one of the hand weights. There's 6, 5, Try to keep your spine imprinted in the floor. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in, switch sides. Don't drop your hand weights on your face. Okay, drop the left knee out to the side and out and in. So take your time. I want you to really see how you have to hug everything into the middle to move the arm and the leg away from each other without tilting to the side. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. Both arms have weights now, so hand weights go back in their normal arms. And we're gonna make like a big circle. So legs are gonna go up to the ceiling. You can keep them a little bit bent, but you're gonna take the arms and the legs away from each other, then they're both gonna open wide, circle back into center and up. So arms and legs move away from each other, make these big circles, and come up. Again, I'm gonna try not to do too much movement in my spine. I want you to try to keep that as still as you can while you make these big circles. And if it's too much, make the circles smaller. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and now we're gonna go the other way. So now we're gonna go down, out, circle in. Oh, I'm sorry, I think I went the same way. Wide, up, in, there it is. Out wide, up, and in. This one was a little trickier for my brain. All right. Here's 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring those elbows and those knees to tap, and then push them both out and away. Here's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in, place your hand weights down. Hands come behind the head. Peel your head and shoulders up. Hold yourself here. We're just going to tap opposite elbow, opposite knee for your bicycles. There's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, grab through the back of the thighs, roll yourself all the way up. Come onto the hands and knees. Couple of cat and cow stretches here. Round your back and lengthen. Rounding and lengthening. 2 more. Last one. Good, step those feet back to the back of the mat, plank. Just holding your plank here, lengthen the heels back, chest forward. Good, take your hips back and forth. Hips over heels, back to the plank. Take it forward and back. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it back. Here's your little pulses. Here's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten into the legs, pedal the feet. Just switch from side to side, take it slow here, stretching out the back of the legs. Push those hands forward, try to get your chest back towards your thighs. Nice big full breaths. All right, right leg's gonna reach up and back. Bring that right knee to tap that right elbow. Hold it there. Slide that right knee down to the right wrist. And then pick it back up to the elbow. Slide it down to the wrist. Pick it up to the elbow. Just 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Step in between the hands. Wiggle the left leg back enough that you feel like you can let your knee rest down on the floor. We're just going to take both hands to the inside of the right foot for a moment. Take a nice big breath here. Walk your right foot back into center, and we're going to come all the way up onto our knees. So if you need a little extra paddle with that left knee, go ahead. But otherwise, I'm going to have these pretty good 90-degree angles here, right angles. And then you can have your hand on your thigh to start with. And we're going to do that cat and cow here, where you're going to pull your belly back, like you're rounding like an angry Halloween cat. And then I'm gonna let it go, and I'm gonna lift my chest and maybe even let my hips fall a little more forward to try not to stretch here. Exhale, pull the belly back. Hips might move back just an inch or 2. And then inhale and lift. Now, if you feel like your balance is good and you don't need the right hand on the thigh, you can take the hands behind the ears or the head, and then do this pulling in of the elbows as you scoop it around, and then this opening of the chest and the elbows as you lift. Good. Let's do 5 more. Here's 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Good. Now just keep yourself here. Right hand can come to the hip, and left arm's going to come up and over the ears. Side bend. Good. Now both hands on either side of that right foot. Straighten that right leg back. You can point the toes, and then if you want to pull back and flex the foot, you can. Try to fold over that leg. Good. Place that right foot down, plank, slide it back, look forward. Take 1 more good breath here. And then we're gonna lower the knees. Here's your 10 chaturanga push-ups. We're gonna bend the elbows, push back up. See if you can get yourself pretty low without dropping your shoulders. Can you keep them lifted away from the floor? Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way to the belly. Reach the hands back. Keep the feet on the floor. Take the pinkies back and just lengthen the arms towards your feet. Let your neck relax. Your head's just in line with your spine here. And if you turn your palms to face the floor, and we're just going to squeeze the pinkies in above your hips, like they're trying to tap behind you. They won't, but just try to keep those arms straight and squeezing in. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Swing those arms forward, palms face up. Just holding here. Give yourself 1 more little lift. If you want to lift the legs, you can. 3, 2, 1. Hands come under the elbows. Push yourself back to your child's pose. And then up to downward facing dog. Pedal the feet here. We'll do the other side. All right, left leg inhales up and back. Bring yourself forward, tap that left knee to the left elbow, then slow slide to the wrist, and then pick it back up to the elbow. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step it between the hands, lower the right knee, and just wiggle the foot to the side so both hands can come to the inside of that left foot for a couple of breaths. All right, wiggle the left foot back into center. Come on up. Try to find those 90-degree bends in the knees and the hip. And again, we'll start with the left, or the hands on the thighs. Okay, here's that scooping back of the belly, that kind of rounding like a cat, angry cat. And then that lifting of the chest, letting the tail go back. So we find this rounding and flexing of the spine, and then this lengthening and extending of the spine. I want to try to make sure there's some aspect of this happening in the upper back, and not just in the low back. Pull it back and lengthen. Now, if you want to move your hands to your ears, you can. You can move those elbows in as you draw the belly back, and open as you lift the chest. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, last round. Good, left hand to the hip, right arm over the ear, and side bend here over to the left. 2 big breaths. Good, both hands come down on either side of that left foot. You can start to straighten the leg back. The toes can stay pointed here, or you can start to flex the foot, maybe round your upper body towards your shin. All right, both hands back down, tuck those toes, step it back to plank. So we're gonna come onto our forearms here. Our forearm plank. Have those forearms be parallel. Palms are flat on the floor. And we're just gonna move our weight forward and back by pushing into the toes and then lengthening and reaching the heels back. Forward and back. Here's 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it here, just little side dips from side to side with the hips. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1. Let the belly come down, hips come down. And just come in a Sphinx pose here. So you've got your elbows and forearms still on the floor. Legs can be nice and wide. Your belly zipped away from the ground. But the shoulders are down and back. Chest is lifting and lifting up forward. Good, come on down. Take both arms out wide like a T. And then from here, we're just gonna bend those elbows in towards your ribs like they're gonna tap each other behind you. And then you're gonna punch those arms back out wide. Squeeze the elbows in, and then reach and expand long. There's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach the arms back, pinkies lift, shoulder heads lift, and bring the hands down, press back, child's pose. Good, downward facing dog. Pedal through the feet. Okay, we're gonna do right leg up and back again. This time you're gonna bring it over to your left elbow. Hold your knee to the elbow. Slide it to the wrist. Pick it up. Wrist. Pick it up. Here's 3, 2, 1. Step between the hands. Go ahead and come up crescent lunge this time. So press down into the feet. Now, if you need to shorten your stride a little bit, pull that left, or walk that left foot in a little bit, so you can get your hip bones to come back and be upright, then go for it. We're gonna do that same cat and cow here. So again, you can have your hands on your thigh, or you can bring it onto behind your ears. But you're gonna round your back, which is gonna encourage you to bend this left knee a little bit. And then we're gonna lengthen the left leg back and lift the chest. So again, you can keep your hand on that right thigh, or you can take your hands behind your ears. And again, get this big movement here with the elbows. See if you can bend into that right knee. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Open the elbows. Keep that belly pulled back. Stay upright here. And we're just going to turn to the side. Turn to the right. Center. Turn right and center. There's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now go ahead and reach down for your hand weights. They should hopefully be somewhere close by. And we're coming back into that crescent lunge. And we're going to make a circle here by leaning forward. So you straighten that left leg, reach those arms forward, come all the way up, bend the elbows, lift the chest, straighten the arms. Reach them forward. Come back upright, elbows bend in, squeeze, straighten the arms. Reach them forward. All the way up, bend in and squeeze. There's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last round. 1. Good, just from here, elbows stay in by your ribs. Take the left knee down, punch the arms wide and up. Wide and in. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place your hand weights down. Open up warrior 2. Good, right knee's gonna stay over that second toe, and we're just gonna do a couple of side to side. So you're just gonna reach that right arm over the ear, left hand forward, bend back, and then float forward, left arm over the ear, right arm reaches back. Check your right knee. Make sure it's right over that second toe. Wrap that right glute under. Pelvis is gonna stay pretty neutral while we do these, upper body flexing to the side. These lateral side bends. Let's get 5 more. Here's 5. Bend the right knee a little deeper. Here's 4. 3. 2. 1. Come forward, hold, left arm over the ear. And now we're just gonna take that right arm up to the ear and down. Hold that position in the legs. Try to turn your chest towards the side of your mat. And just move that right arm. Here's 6. You can get a little deeper in that right knee. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Hands to the hips. Straighten that right leg. Wiggle this left foot in a little bit so you have a shorter stance. And then from here, I'm just gonna cock forward from the right hip. So the right hip's gonna bend deeply as I hinge at the side. And then that right hand can come somewhere on your shin maybe, just not on your knee. But you should feel like you can roll the left ribs back, right ribs forward, and try to see if you can feel length on both sides of the ribs. And then maybe that left arm extends over the ear for the big stretch. Good, go ahead and bend into the right knee. Hands come all the way down onto the floor. Step yourself back plank, look forward. Here's our push-ups. So you can lower to your knees, take your hands nice and wide, and we're gonna go all the way down and up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way to the floor. Your hand weight should be somewhere close by. Grab onto those, pinkies up, shoulder heads up, and we're just gonna lift those arms, little pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it up, out and in. Little out, little in, pinky still up. There's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both hand weights coming down, both hands on the floor. Press back to your child's pose. Take a breath. Good, downward facing dog. One more side. Pedal the feet here. So just have those weights somewhere where you can grab them for the second side. Left leg goes up and back. Bring that left knee across to the right elbow. Slide it to the right wrist. Pick it back up, down and up. Here's 3, 2, 1. Step in between the hands. Come on up, crescent lunge. So get the pelvis to feel like it's really upright. Hands can be on that left thigh for that cat and cow here. So as I cat pose and round my back, my right knee is gonna bend a little bit so that I can feel that pubic bone hug up to the belly button. And if you wanna bring your hands to your ears, you do the close and open here. Lift the chest. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold those elbows wide, pull the front ribs back, and we're just going to twist to the left, center. Twist to the left, center. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hand weights. Okay, here's where we're gonna punch it forward, come on up, squeeze the elbows in as you lift the chest. Reach it forward, extend, all the way up, elbows bend in, lift the chest. Here's 8. And I do a little softening of the back leg. 7, as I lift up. Try to keep the low back long. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From here, those little taps, reach the arms out. Little tap of the right knee down. Here's 8. I'm punching out a little wide like a V. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place the hand weights down. Warrior 2. So turn yourself around. All right, here's those side bends again, okay? We're gonna go back and forward. Back and forward. Here's 7, 6, So really think about drawing that pubic bone up, having a heavy tailbone. Here's 4. If you need to lean forward a little bit, you can, if your hips are too tight, for you to be upright here. Last round, 1 and 1. Hold it forward, right arm at the ear. Here's that left arm coming up and down. Up and down. Bend that left knee. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both hands to the hips, straighten the left leg. Walk that right foot in enough that you feel like you can really hinge at the hip here. Take that left sit bone and move it back. Try to keep the ribs feeling nice and long on both sides, and then that left hand can come to your shin. If you feel hyperextension in the knee, soften the left knee just a little bit. Roll the right shoulder back, left shoulder down under the ear, and then maybe even that right arm can come up by the ear and hold for just 3, 2, 1. Good work. Both hands down on either side of that left foot. Step it back. Look forward here. Just holding in your plank for just another breath. Good. All the way down. You can go to your knees or just lower down in plank. We're going to go for that chest stretch. Right arm out. Roll to the right side. Stretch and open the front of the shoulder. Good, all the way over to the left, next side. Roll onto that left shoulder and hip. Good. Roll back onto the belly, and we're actually just gonna roll all the way onto your back. So whatever is the best way for you to make your way onto your back. And then we're gonna take the right ankle and cross it over your left knee and thigh. So you've got this kind of figure 4 here. I'm gonna hold onto this right ankle with my left hand. Okay, so I've got my right ankle crossed over, and I'm grabbing it with my left hand, and then I'm gonna let that whole shape fall over to the left. So now everything should be on the left side of my body, right foot's on the floor, left knee is resting on the floor. And then I'm gonna take my right shoulder back down to the ground if it came off, and extend that right arm out at a diagonal. Now I'm just letting the right knee kind of activate away from me, away from my chest, because I want you to feel the stretch in that upper outer hip. Take just maybe 2 more breaths here. Good. Slowly use your belly, let go of the ankle, and come back upright. Try to take your time. Place that foot on the floor. We'll do left ankle, crosses over the right thigh now. You can pull that whole shape into your body, or you can just let it drop over, but I'm gonna grab that left ankle with my right hand now, and then drop it over to the left, drop the whole shape over to the right side, and I put my left shoulder back down on the floor. So my knees, my legs are over to the right, my left arm's extended out, and again, I'm just energetically kind of firing up my glute a little bit to just push my left knee away from my chest. Again, just take maybe 2 breaths here. Good. Slowly comes back to center. Now take your left ankle to the left corner of your mat. Okay, so I'm gonna have my left ankle going towards my left corner. Then I'm gonna cross my right ankle on top. Okay, so if that's too far over, slide your legs back a little more. But now you're gonna side bend over to the left. So if you can imagine, you've kind of got this banana shape or this crescent moon shape to the body. And now you're gonna take that right arm up by your ear. Maybe you can rest on the floor, or you can grab for that right wrist with your left hand. And we're just gonna try to take a couple of breaths into the right side body. I'm trying to take some of the arching out of my low back. So I might be too far off to the side if there's just a lot of intense arching through the back. One more big breath here. Good. Take the upper body back to center. Take the right foot all the way up and over to the right. Again, do this mindfully. Excuse me, do this mindfully. Try to really think about your actions and move slowly, because we're releasing so much around the low back that I don't want you to have any sudden movements that then make muscles have to really grip and fire in an unhealthy way. So take the shoulders now over to the right. So again, you've got this nice big banana shape or crescent moon shape. And that left arm can come up. Maybe you grab the wrist with the right hand. And again, I've got a lot of arching through here. This is pretty tight posture for me. Ideally, we're trying to make sure that we can not have any, I don't want any pain in the back because you're in a back bend here. So you can get maybe just 2 more big breaths. Good. Slowly, upper body comes back to center. Uncross the left foot, and then bring the right foot on the floor, bend the knees. All right, last thing I want to do here is you're going to grab for your double ball. If you've got that close by, you got the 2 balls here. If not, you can use a single ball and just do both sides. All right, we're going to have this go behind the shoulders. So I'm going to lift my head. The balls are going to straddle the spine here. So kind of tuck them in underneath you. Like I usually just kind of slide it until they're wedged underneath my shoulders. So I'm pretty close to the top of my shoulder blades. I'm going to grab for my skull, get a pretty good purchase on the skull, and then you can just roll the balls down the back to somewhere that feels productive, and then your hips can stay on the floor. And if you do this kind of pelvic tilt, right, where I arch my back and then flatten out my waistband, you can move the balls just an inch or 2 up and down on the meat straddling the spine. Now, if you want more intensity, you can always lift your hips and put your full body weight into the balls and roll it that way as well. So it just kind of depends on what works for you and what feels right. Once you've kind of worked up the upper part of the back, if you want to, again, pick your hips up, slide the ball down, now you can have them kind of right in between the shoulder blades. And same thing, you can tilt the tailbone up and down, lifting the waistband, flattening the waistband, and that should help you to move the balls up and down an inch or 2. And you're kind of curled up in a little bit of this abdominal crunch. But if you would like, you can start to let the head and shoulders go back and crunch them up as the ball moves up and down the back. Okay, maybe just 1 or 2 more here. Good. Go ahead and take the balls out. And again, if you had only 1 ball, you can do it on one side, and then you can switch it over to the other side. Go ahead and pull the knees into the chest. Give yourself one last happy baby here. You're going to grab the bottoms of the feet, let the knees drop down towards your ribs. Good. Roll yourself up. All right. Good work.